Hello and welcome back to JB CTR, where today we have something very special. As you can see, we've got a Porsche 992 Targa 4S Design Heritage Edition. I'm sure you can tell already, this isn't my usual style of car review, and there's one reason why I've been desperate to try this, and that's because, well, not only is it a Porsche and it's awesome, but my dad from a very young age has always banged on about a 911 Targa. It's his dream car, and the fact that they've brought that to the 992 platform is pretty cool. So I think without further ado, we should probably take it for a drive. Well, first impressions is that it's quite obviously very fast, but also lovely and comfortable. Like, I can understand why this is a tourer, because you could just crunch miles on this thing. It's so comfortable, and then when you absolutely like hammer it, dear God, then it kicks you, as my passenger is just cursed. Into manual, and that gearbox is so responsive. I mean, you might have seen my mini GP3 video. Downshift. Oh, last. And I absolutely hated the gearbox. And the only reason I hated the gearbox is because when you click those paddles, it then waited to decide when it thought was the right time. And I hated that. But this, change. Straight away. And again, change. Epic. That is how you make an auto box. These paddles are so satisfying to use. Like, they're quite short throw, but when you click them, it's proper like tactile and just. Oh, mate. I must admit, I've always been an advocate for manual boxes, but this auto is very enjoyable to use. Whee! Oh, God. Oh. And now, when I've stopped laughing like a child at how fast this is, let's talk about like the sensible stuff. Obviously, this is the 4S, which means you have the four-wheel drive. And Porsches can be, should we say, a little bit bitey if they're in rear-wheel drive, because all the weight is over the rear wheels with the engine in the rear and all that kind of stuff. So if you give it a bit of stick when you've only got rear-wheel drive, like, you have to be quite careful. Having that four-wheel drive is certainly a little bit of a safety net, that's for sure. But I must admit, like, around town through this little quaint village, it's very civilised. It's nice and, wow, it's just super comfortable. I mean, if we're talking about comfort and that kind of thing, the interior on this design edition, if I'm honest, is probably not one that I would have chosen. But because this is such a special car, I think it's kind of okay that they've gone a little bit out there. Do you know what? This is very controversial. I totally get why Porsche owners have been buying the Yaris. The Yaris has very, very similar like driving characteristics, but you can access those limits at kind of slower speeds, which in actual fact could make it more fun on real roads, and that is very controversial. Yaris can't do that. I'm sorry. So there we have it. My first impressions on the 911 992 Targa 4S. And I must admit, for a first Porsche, that is one hell of a drive. Now I will say, probably didn't have it long enough to do like a fully fledged review, because on a test day like today, you only get the car for like half hour, 45 minutes at most. So this is the best I can muster on a day like today, but what a car. I mean, I'd love to do it again. And with that, I think we'll leave it there. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you still want to see more of me, cars and that kind of thing, then feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. There goes a sight from my soul.